think I'm a fairly knowledgeable football player, but whenever you guys talk about leverage, can you explain leverage? Could you go over it? Educate us. Let's go.
So you said two different things there. When you said position yourself closest to the quarterback, that's called stacking in the receiver room. We're in receiver room because leverage is used throughout all of football. Leverage could be pad level for defensive linemen. You got to get your leverage. For defense, for us, attacking leverage is attacking what they're trying to protect. So if it's a post safety, there's one safety in the middle of the field. They're trying to funnel everything to that one safety. So everyone's going to have outside leverage. So for a receiver, when you're trying to gain leverage on an outside guy, you got to do something to get outside of him. That's what everyone talks about in leverage. Or in, when you're attacking a leverage on, for a receiver, say you have an off defender who's covering you and he's got off inside leverage. You have an in-breaking route. How I was taught to always run routes, which is different in a lot of different systems, is to attack the leverage. So he's trying to protect probably inside. So you attack him, and you're bringing him all the way in until you can finally get in. You're trying to break the leverage. That's what the leverage is. When you say positioning between the closest to the quarterback, that's usually like a downfield throw. That's what I'm thinking of when I hear that. When you see greats like Randy Moss, what they do is they stack the defender, so they put their body in between the defender and where the ball is. You know what I mean? So you're using your back and then you're using your body to block him while letting the ball come over. That's like stacking. I don't know if that had anything to do with the closest to the quarterback, but that's do you guys get that?
So
leverage?
So just from clarification for leverage, just to help me. You're a wide receiver, you're on the line of scrimmage. Yeah. You're being lined up, it's a man coverage, you're being lined up directly across is a cornerback. Yeah. If they're head on to you, like lined up feet to feet, there's no leverage there. If they're inside, he has inside leverage to you, and if he's outside, he has outside leverage to you.
Now, if he's head up on you, how you know what he's probably trying to protect is the safeties.
It's the safeties. If there's two on the outside,
if there's two safeties, he's going to be trying to protect the inside because the vulnerable spot of a two safety shell is the inside of that middle inside part. That's why you always see like tight ends down the middle because they're with those seam reads. So like that's what they're trying to protect because they have help over here. So whenever you hear a defensive coach say, keep your fucking leverage, he's telling the defender, do not let the guy outside of you. Okay, we have one safety in here. Your help is inside. Do not let him outside. I don't care if you have to grab him. I don't care if you have to run to the fucking sideline. Your help is when he goes inside. If he beats your leverage and stacks in and breaks it, there's no help. You're on an island. So that's a lot of the leverage.
So if you want to get a defensive coach would say you want to lose opposite of your leverage because you have help there.
Yes.
If you're a cornerback.
You got to keep, yes.
Because you've got a safety back there or a line, whatever.
Yes, or a linebacker or whatever.
And then continuing this from like a offensive line perspective or like blocking perspective, we talk a lot about like 9 block or 9 technique block from a tight end.
Yeah.
Is it, for me, this question for me, is that talked about a lot because that's when a tight end has to make like they don't have leverage, but they still have to make the block on the outside.
They get into like there's different like techniques for those guys and footwork for those guys to gain the leverage, or to set the line or to set the edge. Okay. So sometimes when you have an outside, like Rob would be the perfect guy to talk to about this. But if you have outside leverage and you have to gain the leverage, they do these little drop steps and then they'll go and they'll connect.
Yeah.
And then if he's still keeping the edge, you're setting the new edge. So the running back has to go inside that.
Okay.
So I'm not like a doctor in that, but for leverage for route running, it's usually what they're trying to protect. You're trying to, or, you're attacking that protection side or what they're trying to protect. And the great route runners, like you watch like Devontae Adams, you watch Back in my day, Stevie Johnson, he was really good at like breaking leverages. You know what I mean, with releases. Guys that can break those leverages are crazy. Or if you see an out like it, and you could win that leverage at 2 spots. You could win that in the beginning part of the route with the release, or you can win it at the top of the route. So sometimes you'll see an in cut where the defender keeps that inside leverage and the receiver just goes and he's trailing him inside. Like a really good route runner would have got in, but if sometimes these guys get paid a lot of money too and they kind of know what's going on, you have to win at the top of the route. So you have to do something to get that leverage at the top. Now, is that the slow down, jab step, jab in, out, in, and then have him undercut, and then you're collecting your leverage. You know what I mean?
Is that kind of like what you were talking about when we had Cooper Kupp on?
Yes.
Where you were like, you like to gain leverage on the line, and he likes to do it on the break?
That is how I interpreted it, yeah.
I'm sure there's way more nuance to that.
I don't know. Maybe I gotta call my receivers coach. I gotta call Chad O'Shea. I need a little
Chatty-O? Dr. Leverage.
Dr. Leverage.
Dr. Leverage.
And guys, don't confuse this with the TNT crime drama Leverage, starring Timothy Hutton. This is football talk, guys.
Football talk.
Not the mid-noughts TNT We Know drama lineup. Go on now.
Good note, Jack.
Yep.